James Melendez, James the Wine Guy. I have a special guest here today, so stay with me. This is a fantastic Chilean brand. This is called Almaviva. Stay tuned. Special guest is Michel Friou. He's been a winemaker at Almaviva, so I'm going to bring this a little closer so you can see this brand. It is chiefly a Cabernet blend, and so I'll have him talk to you more about this. So Almaviva 2013 vintage, and so the second component, and I'm fascinated by this wine here because the secondary component to this wine is Carmenere. So Michel, can you just talk a little bit about the 2013 vintage?
Yeah, 2013 was a very late vintage compared to others, and it was globally cooler, not like 2012, which was warmer. So we started late, and it was cool almost the whole season. So we finally harvested 2 to 3 weeks later, which finally resulted in a wine more of freshness, more finesse, elegance than concentration. Which make it a bit different than our vintages, but it has probably more purity and precision, well combined with this nice fresh fruit.
And tell me more about the blend. It is a blend, correct?
Yeah, that's a blend. A bit like in Bordeaux when Almaviva was created. We thought, in fact, we were thinking more in a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon mainly, with Merlot and Cabernet Franc, a bit like in Pauillac. But it appears that the Merlot was not Merlot, but it was Cabernet. And as we were very happy with the final result, we finally decided to maintain this blend, which will be more or less 2/3 to 3/4 of Cabernet Sauvignon, 20 to 25% of Cabernet, and also some percentage of Cabernet Franc, and since a few years also some real Merlot and the Dualdo, but on a very small quantity.
I love how you say real Merlot, because that's that was the great mystery that Carmenere was referred to as Merlot for a long period of time. I mean, I think it was referred to as a clone of Merlot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was it was considered as Merlot for years, till the French oceanographer Jean-Michel realized in a trip that it was not Merlot but Cabernet, and since then we started to check in the vineyard what was really Merlot and what was really Cabernet.
Sure. I think for me, that's the exciting thing about Chile. It's just the quality of Cabernet. So one of my questions for you is, why is Chile such an amazing wine country for Bordeaux varieties?
Well, I think that at the middle of the 19th century, the classical French variety, especially Bordeaux variety, arrived in Chile, and they were planted mainly in the Central Valley, where it was easy to grow vines, probably more in the flat areas at the beginning, but it was mainly concentrated in places where we had perfect condition for finally these kind of varieties, with all the rain concentrated in winter, almost no rain for the whole growing season, and also the big difference of temperature between the day and night, with the effect of the VMDs that finally refresh the night. So it worked perfectly well, obviously with some size better than others for certain grapes. We have in general the better quality of tannics in Maipo, and more precisely in Maipo Alto, which is a nice combination between the proximity of VMDs that make this area a bit cooler, which will finally be able to get a very slow ripening process, keeping fruit and freshness at the same time with classical alluvial soils, which allow a nice drainage which is particularly good for Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay. You know, one thing I'm really curious is that, you know, I think the Carmeneres are generally in the 20% range for your wines. And when I think of the Carmenere, it's not just because it's an homage to the Carmenere of Chile, but it's really, I would say for technical reasons, I'm guessing, and it's there to add some components to it that make it, I think, a more luxuriant wine. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah. In fact, even if at the beginning it was not planned exactly to use the Carmenere, but wanted to produce a blend well balanced and with a certain smoothness, and finally the Carmenere brought what the Merlot brings in general in Bordeaux. It means that the Cabernet will bring the structure with certain angles that the Merlot will soften. So we finally get this nice combination, this nice effect with the Cabernet, which is a variety which are naturally low acidity, very nice color, but very smooth and velvety tannins. So it brings us a certain creaminess in the blend with this nice quality of Cabernet that will bring the structure, but also the nice quality of tannins to the wine.
Thank you. Much more beautiful said than I could ever say about Carmenere being part of this blend and the reason why. I also would like to know, you know, here in California, we think of our Cabernet Napa Valley and the weather and the climate that drives, you know, how the wines evolve, or, you know, even challenges with producing wine. Are you having similar challenges in Chile, you know, maybe the past vintage?
Yeah, that's true. First of all, there is a certain similarity between the two places in terms of climate. We say that we have both classical Mediterranean climate with all the rain concentrated in winter, and with the rest of the year quite dry. But the main difference what that we have is that, especially in a place like Maipo, we have less rain normally. That means less rain than Napa Valley. That means that we start spring with less reserve in the soil. Of course, we know that Napa had some drought these few years. So in a certain way, they started with a lower reserve than before, the big like us. But in fact, on our side, we had also the same effect, in the sense that the last 5-6 years have been also drier.
Okay.
That means, for example, a place like Maipo, which normally receive 300-350 millimeters of rainfall, received for a few years between 200-250, and some places, Sulphur, Colchagua, we used to receive 700, that receive also less 500. So it's a special issue that we probably share with California. But normally there's more rain in winter in Napa than places like Maipo.
Okay.
But what I've seen the times I've been is we share also the fact there is a big difference of temperature between day and night, which helps to get more color, more polyphenol in the wines, especially the reds.
It makes me really appreciate when I hear you talk about the weather and the climate patterns, because it, you know, makes me happy to have this wine. It makes me think that it's a rarity to have such beautiful wines even in the most challenging times. My last question for you is Puente Alto. Why is it so special? Why do some of the most top-tier Sterling Cabernets come from this region?
Well, the Puente Alto is finally quite a small place in Maipo. It has, on one side, is very close to the Andes, so that means that this cooling effect that we have at night is quite marked. we get this cold wind that will come down from the snow of the mountains, then will refresh the valley. So it helps to finally to have a ripening year that will be quite late, which means that we will always ripe not on the peak of the temperature, but when the temperatures have started to go down, so which helps to keep freshness, to keep fruit. And as normally we have no rain in April and May, we can also wait to get ripeness. So one of the good points of Monte Alto is to be able to get at the same time freshness and ripeness. And on the other side, we are very close to the Maipo River, but not exactly just near. So we are on an alluvial terrace, but not the youngest one, more what we call the third terrace, which is the older, which has more complexity, more devolution in the composition of the soils. When you will be very close to the river, it will be mainly gravel and sands, which will probably not produce the same quality of wine. But we are in a place where we have a certain percentage of clay in part of the soil, between 12 and 18, more complexity and more evolution, and finally contributes a lot to the quality of the final wine.
And thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for coming this long distance. And I think this is a really special thing to have winemakers come out from Chile to California. Yes, we have our wine country here, but there's also an amazing wine country. So I've always done this. I've always said I never put one wine country ahead of the other or put one down in front of the other. I think it's really important to respect all wine countries, and Chile is an amazing region. So thank you again for watching me today. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for more reviews to come. So you can follow me on a variety of channels such as Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, LinkedIn, as well as Instagram and WordPress. By the way, this is the racetrack that I keep talking about to think about wines from all regions, all varieties, and all styles of wine. So thank you again for watching today. Salud.